Well, my friends, Dr. A is finally gone. Well, at least from what we've seen, he's finally gone. And a lot of people, well, I had to say this correctly here, quite a few people are glad that we finally put this fucker to the ground, while others are a bit upset of the fact that he is gone. Because it was once again this idea that Dottore was going to be a playable character. Now, I'm not going to make this into oh, the Genshin community is yada yada yada. Because, on the one hand, I can understand why some people will feel some kind of way about a character that they like and end up dying. I can understand that because, hey, if you like a character, you like to have this hope that they would be around longer. You like to have this hope that they could even be playable. So, having that thought is not the worst thing in the world. But on the other hand, I look at this character and I can't help but wonder: Are people will people be okay with them giving you an ass pull reason as to how suddenly the doctor just become an ally to the traveler? 'Cause I think that's the thing a lot of people need to come to grip with when it comes to the whole thing with the doctor as a whole. He's a villain. He's a natural born villain. And he had done nothing but done some evil, twisted shit since we seen him, since we known him really. If you read the manga, if you played the Sumeru quest, if you looked at the ending to, well, at least the last part of the Archon quest when it came to Wanderer, if you look at the whole thing with Non-Cry, and then if you're looking at this whole thing with the Sumeru quest recently, it's quite clear where he stands as a character, and quite clear that he has no remorse, no regrets, no nothing on the choices he made. And that's the thing. When you look at some of the other harbingers, you have a good understanding of who they are. You have a good understanding what they stand for, what they are willing to do, what they're not willing to do, what their morals are, what what their pride lies on, etc. You understand their character enough to at least get a grasp on what they do, what they are, etc. And it's including the doctor. And when it comes to the doctor, he's selfish. He did not care about, he did not care about camaraderie. He would use people if it benefits his goal and further his goals. He had no qualms in sacrificing others. He had no qualms in trying to lie to others in order to achieve his goal. Now, he's not afraid to be blunt. He will try to sweet talk you into thinking that his way is the better way and nothing else. You know, that's just his character. We seen him manipulate the wanderer. We see him try to sweet talk the traveler into joining his side. It didn't work, but he tried to do so. He was trying to get close to Colabina, and Colabina, knew right away to get the fuck away from this dude. He experimented on Carlos as well as experimented on other kids when he was trying to do whatever the hell he was doing with those god remains of the goddess of flowers. He had done so much up until this point that you would be hell pressed to wonder if Hoyoverse was to ever make the Atari playable, how can you redeem his character? How can you make his character then all of a sudden do a complete 180, and then all of a sudden he's out here helping the traveler? He's out here saying good morning to the dude. He's out here talking about all the other harbingers. He's out here saying happy birthday to you. He's out here, doing fucking combos and stuff with you. It's hard to imagine a character like that just being playable. It's hard to imagine that. Because when you look at all the other Harbingers, again, Wanderer, his circumstance was that he got lied to, manipulated, and that's why he turned out how he turned out. But because he found out the truth, and because he understood that he was wrong for what he did, he tried to make amends. And while in the end of the day, it took time for some people to forgive him, like the Traveler, Paimon, and the Healer for that matter, because while they did went above and beyond to help him with his issue when they found him without his memories, it was still a matter of, yeah, but can we still trust him? Can we still rely on him, etc.? And he shown that he can be relied on. He can be trusted. And then when you look at characters like Child, Calabina, Alikino, you understand those characters have their own morals, have their own journey, and have their own reasons as to why they became part of the Fatui. They also, and I was sure Child and Alikino in particular knows that, yeah, the Traveler is on the opposing side, but at the same time, we will, help him and back him if he ever needs it. And you don't need me to tell you the relationship with Carabina. So definitely gonna be interesting on the whole thing with Syndrome. Even though with Syndrome, we seen that she also do care. We seen that she is a good-hearted character. She just assumed Ray at heart. But again, look at those characters and then compare them from their backstory, from where they are now, for how they treat the characters, their molds and everything else. Look at that and then say that they are at all relatable to Dottore. Like, that's the thing. And I'm sure some people will just say that, well, hey, it feel like wasted potential that he's gone and such. I don't see that way because I mean, for a dude that been around since the manga and was doing shit from the manga up until this point, even after he died in Non-Cry, he still somehow managed to come back. It's like the Joker. If you played any of the Batman Arkham games, it's exactly like that. He was a problem from Arkham. If you counting Arkham Origins, let's just pretend Arkham Origins is part of that whole genre. You have him from Arkham Origins, and then he was a problem and when he was having that whole prison break kind of thing, whatever the hell you would call it, in Arkham Asylum. He was dying in Arkham City, and then he actually inevitably did die in Arkham City, just for him to come back in Arkham Knight. He was just one of those characters where, like, yeah, you can't get rid of him. You cannot get rid of him no matter how hard you try. And Joker was the most evil of the evil fucking people out there. And that's the thing. When you have a character that's so fucking evil to this very core, and they still come back even after death, that just tells you a lot that, yeah, they see a lot of potential in them. So much potential, they can even cheat death in some kind of way. Not like they come back for the dead, but more so in the matter that, hey, even if I'm gone, my legacy still lives on, and through some kind of weird ass means. So, do I think Dottore's potential or anything like that was wasted? Hell no, I don't believe that. I mean, again, it's just a case of people feeling some kind of way because their favorite character is gone. It's kind of like the whole Senora situation, but I think the significant difference with Senora, if we're being real, is that Senora was cut short so soon. I think if you look at Senora's departing, you could make the argument and say that they could have done more with her. They very could have. They could have very well done more with her. Because besides her thing in Mondstadt and thing of Leeway, then she went to Inazuma and such. Now, you can always say that it was because of her arrogance and how she was treating everything. Like she got the gnosis from Venti so simply. She got the gnosis from Zhongli so simply. And I'm sure she probably thought she can fucking punk out Ryan Shogun. But I mean, evidently that didn't help, and that's how A fucking one shot her. Like, that was just the reality of it. So you can definitely blame arrogance for that, but I mean, again, at the same time, I can understand some people feeling like, oh, she got taken out too soon, and that they could have done more with her character, etc. I can understand that, but to say that the Torre felt like a waste of potential, especially for a dude that done a lot in the story, like a whole lot in the story. Like, no, I can't really get behind that. Honestly, even if you are bitter about him not being a playable character, I cannot wholeheartedly get behind that. But you know, it is what it is. Do I feel bad that he's gone? Hell no. Hell no. I'm glad that this dude is gone. Do I understand some people feeling a bit sad and maybe a bit upset that he's gone? Sure, I can understand it. I can understand wholeheartedly. But I mean, at the same time, I like to hope that people at least understand that for how long he's been around and for a lot of the things he was doing and how he was moving and everything, there's just no way that he was not going to get put to the ground. And in that case too, there was just no way they were ever going to make him playable, because again, to make him playable would to then redeem him of his crimes. And unless they were gonna pull a Wanderer, where they were just going to fucking, erase his memory or erase everything he did, and he just come back as a new person, there was just no way. There was just simply no way. And if we were to take everything we've seen up until this point in consideration, it's probably safe to say he don't even have a vision. It's probably safe to say that. I mean, when you consider the fact that he had this whole thing about not wanting to be ruled by Tavash laws or anything like that, and it seemed like he doesn't particularly give a fuck about the gods or the heavenly principles or anything of that matter. So, I mean, I don't think it's likely he would ever be blessed with a vision of any sort. So, I mean, but who knows? Maybe he did have vision, he never showed it, but I don't know what the fuck vision that would have been. I don't even know. We don't even know if he even had delusion, honestly. But again, who knows? I guess we would never really truly know. But yeah, I mean, as I said before, I get why people would feel how they feel, but you really had to dig deep down about this. Really, do you love him as a villain? And if so, could you ever buy him being a good guy? I mean, that's the question. Because if you buy him being the good guy, then he would be watered down. He would be all fucking nice and wanting to help people and be all considerate and shit. Like, I don't think no one would want him like that. Truthfully, I don't think no one would want him like that. And the thing is, with the other dude whose name escaped me, I apologize. The one that was talking about Tori in this Art Conquest. The thing with him is that you could maybe say he could be, on the fence. He could be that chaotic, evil kind of like child, where like he's not inherently evil, but he's not really a good guy either. Like he don't have a bunch of bodies on his fucking record or anything like that. So you could maybe pass the buck and say he could be a good guy. I mean, hell, for all we know, for all the wealth he had gotten with the whole Nolan Bank thing, he could be helping people in need. For all we know, like gradually he could be doing that. He might have an issue with Tavad and the laws and the gods. I mean, that could be 100% true. Wanda would have his own issue when it comes to gods. So I mean, like that wouldn't be nothing new. That wouldn't be anything like out of the ordinary. But I think it's just more the matter of okay, how far did he take that aspect? Does he take that aspect to where like he had no qualms in getting his hands bloody, like in terms of hurting innocent people and everything? Who to say? We do not know. I guess we won't know until we actually see Miss Nazaria. But when it comes to the doctor, like we've seen it. We've seen it. Like he has way too much blood in his hands, and I don't think he gives a fuck about whether people care if he's a villain or not. So, but that's my thoughts on the Doctor and his death. He was a great villain. I will say that much. He was a fantastic villain. He was that villain you just love to hate, and I think that what makes him a great. I think that would make any great villain. Honestly, if you see a villain and you just want to fucking wrap your hands around their damn neck and just start shaking until something pop or something snap, that say they doing a good job at being a villain. I think so. But but I mean, at the same time, I see some people thinking that he could still be alive when his makes still be alive, but considering the ending and considering that his segment was dragging his ass down in that fucking fire, I highly doubt it. I think he's R.I.P. for good again. Yeah, all I can say to Datori is glad we finally got your ass buried in the fucking ground.